Good evening, everybody. It's so nice to have all of you back here again. This is it's crazy, right? It's like week in, week out. We are back on Saturday all over again. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our English pitch presentation. And this time around, we're going to be alternating between the English presentation as well as the Mandarin presentation on Saturdays. So this is actually our first time ever after 6 months that we are actually finally having our English speech session on a Saturday, man.
Saturday, yeah.
It's crazy that it's been already almost 6 months, and we are indeed honored to have all of you who are right now currently in our Zoom session with us tonight. My name is Ivan. I am the co-founder as well as the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of ProppyApp.
Yeah, I'm Sean, and I'm a co-founder, and also I'm responsible for the sales activities on ProppyApp.
So both of us are going to be doing our presentation tonight. And tonight is a special invite-only session, which means that you have been officially and specially invited by one of our fellow Proppians who we would like to acknowledge also. If you guys know, if you have brought your friend, you can check the list. And of course, later on, we would like you to stay on after our pitch presentation. We will give you a chance to also have a bit of a Q&A and also get to know a little bit better. I want to get to know you as well and give you a proper hello. All right, so don't go away after our pitch presentation. It's going to end probably an hour. We're hoping to do it within an hour tonight. So stay on after our pitch presentation for a little bit of a Q&A later. Anyway, tonight, we have a very special guest with us, all the way from Japan. Miss Ryoco Watanabe! She's in the house with us tonight, man.
Hi,
Ryoco, how are you?
Okay.
I'm Ryoco Watanabe.
Yeah, this is like what this is what wrestling, right? Ryoco Watanabe in the house tonight. Anyway, Ryoco will be we'll invite her later to share a little bit of her thoughts with us about Proppy. And it's so good to have you tonight as well. We are very glad that you're here with us. Okay, I'm going to try to make this presentation as light, as easy, and as informal as possible, although we have a very heavy content. We have a very heavy topic, but I think we want to make it more like a conversation among friends. All right? Yeah. So we will not try to be so stiff upper lip over this presentation. So it's going to be chill out. So I'm going to allow Sean to introduce himself the way he would like to be introduced. I'm not going to introduce him. So you can introduce yourself, right?
Thank you, Ivan. Well,
right.
Let me share with all about a bit about my background. I was an electrical and electronic engineer. And I worked for a multinational company for 5 years. Then I've gotten a British government scholarship, Chevening scholarship, and further my study in London with an MBA. Then I came back and served the nation, served the Malaysian, and I was in project management for 10 years. So all in, I have 15 years of industry automation experience from engineer to project management. Then thereafter, I ventured into financial planning industry, and I'm doing insurance, will and trust, and holistic financial planning. And right now, I'm also the Malaysia $1 Million Roundtable country chair. And $1 Million Roundtable represent the top 3% of all the life insurance practitioners worldwide. So it means the top performers in this industry, and we opt to serve the public, serve the community and society with the best services, the highest professionalism, the best ethical value, and also with excellent customer service. So that is about me, Ivan.
Okay. Now, do I have to do so?
Yes, I think everybody would like to hear about you.
Okay, this is the part. This is the part where I hate most. Okay, introducing myself. Where is our Proppy buddy Vivian when I need her? She does an awesome introduction of me anyway. But it's okay. I abandoned by her anyway again. So okay, very quickly, I'm gonna have a short introduction of who I am. basically, I've had the privilege of working with as an external consultant as well as corporate trainer in the last 20 years with several multinationals, top tier local companies, as well as GLCs like KWAP, Kumpulan Wang Persaraan, which is the cousin of KWSP. I did team building, organizational development for 3 years with them. I work with Maxis as well, Amax, OCBC, Carex, CGS, CIMB, Unilever, Cisco, Veritas, and I've also opened up a business over in Cambodia prior to the pandemic. All right. And my clients over there include RHB Bank, Prince Bank, as well as Nestle. Now, I work in the area of change management. That's definitely something which I am very passionate about. We do a little bit of leadership development, talent management. And I also had a good fortune of experiencing corporate life in Singapore as the chief communications officer of a crypto startup. And that actually gave me also a good insight into the world of blockchain, into the world of future tech, as well as startup funding. So very short, very brief, nothing spectacular, but I'm glad that we are here together with all our Proppians. I'm so happy also to be here with both you and Ryoco as well. So well, let's take it away. Obviously, we are here for one reason, and today's pitch is actually entitled "Why Proppy." So I'm hoping that we will be able to give you a little bit of insight, a little bit of understanding of what we do over at Proppy, why we do what we do, and of course how we do it, and what you might be missing out, lah. All right. So okay, let me put up the presentation for us right now, and then we can actually cover. All right. So basically, what we're going to cover is three major things. We hope to share insights into our technology. All right. So what is driving Proppy? What is the innovation? What kind of prop tech that we're talking about? We have been hearing about property tech 1.0, but what about Proppy? Prop Tech 2.0, 3.0, and where are we and what is it that we're providing into the market? Yeah,
and we will look at the market as well, the existing market, what all the players in the market are doing, and where are the gaps and how we are going to fill up this gap. And of course, last but not least is the team. How the team, who is the people in the team behind the scene who deliver this project, Ivan, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think this is also an opportunity for those of you who are coming in for the first time. If you really want to have a chat with our team, our co-founders, our founders, this is really an opportunity for you to also come in and talk to them. You know, we practice a very open. We are actually virtual. I want to say open door, but there's no door. In a way, it's like you're in here. It's a virtual session. We are doing things so differently right now, and this is exactly where we are at, right? Isn't it? We are talking about what is it that we are doing right now, and we're talking about being in a fourth industrial revolution. I think the World Economic Forum calls this era the fourth industrial revolution. Now, if you look back 25 years ago was what year? 1995, right? Am I? 1996, 1995, 1996. I was still in the university.
I just graduated.
Yeah. All right. So we're about the same. We're about the same. We're about the same. And if you compare then and now, our lives have been such vastly different, isn't it?
Exactly. During that time, I still remember not many people has email. Just imagine I can register my name with at hotmail.com. And Hotmail is that era, since then. It's a long time ago.
And it's interesting because now you can see that people and communities around the globe, now after 25 years, you can see that we are far more connected than before. But actually when you talk about when you talk about being connected, we are really connected. But the question I want to ask is, how connected are we in terms of connectedness, isn't it? We may be connected, but the level of connectedness, it's also suspect. But I think at this point in time, everyone is clamoring to be on the digital platform, even more so during the pandemic, COVID-19, isn't it? The digitization of all our processes, our retail, buying things online. But actually, I want to talk about the digitalization of everything from contact tracing, our digital payment, online retail, food delivery. Actually, we are living in this world digital revolution that we're happening right now, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, exactly. And the pandemic has become a catalyst that speed up the whole process by
Yeah.
making use of all kind of technologies that's available now, bundled together, and just, for instance, a mobile phone connecting to the internet and all those,
Yeah.
it keeps
Yeah, I
us
mean,
all together.
everything is done through our mobile phone. Now everything is here. I remember last time in the late probably the mid 90s and the late 90s coming to the 2000s, you'd be thinking everything. I mean, we were going on to the desktop, isn't it? But I was thinking at that point in time, wow, wouldn't it be nice? One day we can actually do everything from our phone. And here we are, man.
It's materializing now.
Yeah. But I think as a result of that, a lot of behaviors have shifted. There is now a huge power imbalance, okay, that is existing between buyer and seller. Would you agree with me that what used to be the seller's advantage? That means the sellers used to have that advantage where they can go to the internet, or they can go to the market, and they can hold the narrative, and they can give you the information that you want based on what they think that you need, isn't it? They can educate the customers, they can feed the customers with the information that they want to give. But nowadays, in this day and age of information tech, info tech, and we're talking about industry 4.0 with our mobile capabilities, everything, you Google everything also you can find, right? The dynamic has been turned on its head. Now customers are they themselves, they don't really, I mean, you can have the market telling you what to do, but actually you can't. It's up to the customers now, isn't it? Now True, they can find their own solutions on the internet, and they know what they want, and it's all in the palm of their hands. Right.
Yes. The clients, the consumer are now more empowered with the access to all the information now on the internet. Yeah.
That's right. And I think that's the reason why we are here as well, isn't it? We are here to talk a little bit about what is Proppy and what is it that we're providing into the market. I think in a nutshell, I would like to start off straight away when we talk about what is Proppy. It really is to say that we are building an infrastructure, a new infrastructure that capitalizes on this whole technology of IR 4.0, AI, that will help users, you and I and everyone else, become better informed buyers and sellers. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Now let's look at what the so-called the property tech company nowadays they are doing. I think these two companies on the screen, the I company, the P the G company, Proppy company. So those are very, very well known to all of us now. But what they have done, they started to appear in the market since 2006, 2007, 15, 14 years ago. Now, and when they appear, they basically transform the traditional analog property listing method from the classify in the newspaper, classify ads to or magazine on to internet. They simply just move this thing into internet. And they have been doing this for the past 15 years or so. Now, and what they have done is very primitive, very basic function that is called digitization. Merely changing analog to digital. And during that time, in one of the company, even when they were acquired, they worth 543 million USD back in 2016. So, we are talking that much of a value of this kind of company. So, but they have, when we talk about IR 4.0, there are so many existing technology that have not been put in place, apart from just digitization of the listing, there are much more things that we can do. And this is where, consumer have a gap and then find it, the market has a gap to fill in.
Well, and this is actually what I want to actually add on to what you just said. You just said that word, digitization. What they have done is to digitize a listing like Yellow Pages that we used to be analog paper form, and they just digitize it and put it onto the internet. I mean, when they first started, obviously, I think it was disruptive. I think it was very revolutionary at that point of time. I will give it to them. They started in 2006, 2007. At that point of time, I'm sure it was like everybody, because we wanted to capitalize on the power of the internet. You got more reach. You get, everyone is like, wow, it's so amazing. But actually, that was in 2006. You know, how many years was it? That's like only how many years? How many years? 14, 15 years already, right? Now it's just
Yeah.
2021. You know, in the world of
Yeah.
the internet, right? You've been in IT, right? You know that if like 6 months, if you don't
Yep.
if you don't change within 6 months, you'll be left
You're left
behind, man.
behind.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
You know,
yeah.
and yet we are still actually it's funny thing is this, you know, it's really just a mono layer buyer and seller
Yeah.
functionality. Those of you who are listening in, and if you are actually you have had the opportunity to use these platforms, I'm sure you agree with us that it is actually very primitive, lack of a better word, archaic. You know, we don't want to be throwing shade to these companies. Like I said, they have done really well. And it's amazing that they have also achieved a certain market capitalization. You know, it's quite huge.
It's
But
amazing.
actually, what we are actually going to be doing is to disrupt this property tech market. Now, vision is to revolutionize the property industry and become the world's leading property base all in one portal, right? And which means that we're talking about, you know, what is really what we are trying to solve. I think there's a lot of things, like you said, there's a lot of things that IR 4.0, the technology that we are in right now that can really do, that will help and move us to the next layer, you know, because we have so much that we can offer, you know, and it's, as a user, I feel that we have been shortchanged. I don't know about you, but I feel that there's so many things that, you know, we can capitalize, but it's not there.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
What just came into my mind? It's just lack of color. It's not black and white only. We should add in more colors in the picture.
Yeah. And I think this is why we want to introduce to you ProppyApp. And what is it that ProppyApp provides to you? Now, we call our AI butler ProppyApp. The reason why we call it ProppyApp is because we want to give it a little bit of, like you say, a little bit of, you know, a unique twist, a unique twist to all of this, you know, in the sense that it gives it a bit more something for people to actually, you know, capture and grasp. Because when we talk about AI, right, is people always ask, what is it? What is it about AI? You know, but let me tell you an open secret within the online industry. Okay, let me tell you a secret within the online industry, that everything that is being done right now, it's built exploiting our data, whether it's Facebook or Google. A lot of us tend to just surrender all of this to Facebook and Google without us realizing. And in Facebook, it's like, oh, it's free, right? No, Google, a lot of services are free. Now, there's a saying that goes, and this is something which our CC, Mr. Lee Wilson, has mentioned many times, and I follow him long enough to even repeat this. It says that if the service that you're getting is free, then the product is you. Right or not?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yes.
We are the product. Everybody
you are the product.
Agree and move on the user agreement,
That's why you just agree without reading it. Actually, the thing is that there is already an AI functionality that is already tracking your data. And then you are now shouting, oh, we don't have data protection, PDPA and all that kind of thing. Actually, you sign it off, without realizing. And they use you as their leverage to go to other companies and they say, okay, we have got how many millions of subscribers and users, and they make that money out of you, right? And do you realize that everything that we do online is being tracked? Our movements, when you park your car, if you use Google, I know I use Google all the time. When you park your car, and this is when I first got to know about Google, it was a bit unique at that point in time, because like, hey, how the hell you know where I park my car, man? What does that mean? It means that your phone is already tracking you wherever you are. It knows where you are. It knows where you are in the afternoon. It knows where you are in the afternoon and at night. It even knows how long you stay in a particular place. Which that if you are always here at night for when you go home, right? You are there at home for 8 hours at night, or you sleep or more than 10 hours. That is where you are. Then they know, and what these sites they do is that they collect information and they sell it. So like when you mention something to a friend, have you realized it or not? When you mention something to a friend, and then suddenly you're bombarded with advertisements about it.
Well, that is scary.
Hey, that's scary, you know. You mean what? You mean
Yeah.
the food is listening to you. Now that is AI. No, don't be a don't. I'm not here to scare you, but I think we need to realize that we are now living in that world. All right, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it is important for us. We believe in the power of choice. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What that means is that to stop this from happening, that people can take away your data, we want to give this back to you, and that's
Yes,
the power of
exactly.
AI. You know what
Yeah. Yeah.
Proppy, what we do want to do is we want to be able to use this AI, but we want to get your permission. You know, you decide what information that you will provide. You decide how much information you will provide.
You will.
And then with the AI functionality also, you can actually start crafting the kind of information that you want Proppy to give you. And that's why it's important. These three major values to give you accurate information in our integrated AI platform. It gives you a more comprehensive insight analysis so that you can, of the market via data analytics, so that you can actually make a better decision and take action, and that
Wow.
is the power of AI. Wouldn't you want to have choices, man?
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That is what I wanted to say, Ivan. When when even though when AI's presence, makes our life sounds a bit scary.
Yeah.
But in fact, all this technology can be better used
Yeah.
and provide and bring our living standard higher. Make our life better.
Yeah.
Because nowadays we are in the sea of information.
Yep.
We sometimes will get lost quite easily. We can Google, tons of information available. We still need to use our experience and to filter, to pick
Yeah.
up the relevant information. Now,
Yeah.
Proppy is a data tech company that gather all the information and provide it back to the user. Depending on what they want. Not just very simple example. You see, in my line of practice, we help people to do financial planning.
Yeah.
And one of them is to help the clients to understand their net worth. Now, by saying so, that means they will have to list down all their assets, and then of course minus all their liabilities to come out to derive the net worth. Now, the problem is, when we come to insurance, we know the value, your EPF, you can just log in and check your value, existing value. The share, the unit trust, you can all find, and get the information just by logging in and download the information. But when we talk about, asset like properties, house, or maybe a land, nobody knows the market value. Nowadays, this information is not at our fingertips. Now this platform is able to do so by gathering all the information and provide the exact information that is relevant and concerned by the user. Now, one of it is the property value. This is a very meaningful feature. And apart from that, when we want to buy a house or sell a house or even rent a house, normally one of the common option is we go to a property agent. Nowadays, property agent is not easy to find. I do not have, I'm not in the field, so I do not have everybody doing that. I'll start asking around, Google, and maybe look for some reputable company and ask for agents. But I do not know the agents. I do not know their backgrounds, their credibility, their experience. And property agents specialize in certain region and specialize in certain property type or asset type, like commercial buildings or residential or condo. So all of them may have different background, and they may not be the most perfect or ideal property agent for me. But on this platform, all the legitimate property agent will be rated, reviewed, verified, even endorsed. And so all their record will be transparent to the user. So when it gives users more power to decide, and make informed decision when they look for property agent, they can find the right one more easily. So in short, on this platform, of course, there are many other features as well, and that enable all the user on this platform to be to benefit from these features. And in short, it is derived, we come to this, everything is up for sale at the right price. Just imagine when we know the price of our property and the option or the possibility of transaction to happen is much higher. There are many features that we will talk about later that can help to facilitate the buy, sell, and rental in the market.
Actually, this whole ethos of everything is up for sale at the right price is something for me a very interesting aspect. And the funny thing is this, actually this idea, I do not know why. If we actually say it right now, it sounds a little bit odd, but I really never thought that, even until now, there isn't something that is able to do this. So a lot of you, if you are listening in and it's like, everything is up for sale at the right price, high law, I've heard it before, but actually, is there such a platform that is actually doing it? You know where I'm coming from or not? It's like, it's something that is like, and you hear it and you think that, okay, it's something that obviously I think it is, but actually there isn't a platform currently that is able to do that. And my question is why? Right?
Yes.
Why even until now, we still don't have a platform that is able to actually put everything up for sale at the right price? And this is very interesting, because when we talk about everything is up for sale at the right price, when you talk about your house, right? If you have already reached your house, say, okay, I have a property that this is my dream house. I've really gotten this house and I bought it at, say, for example, 2 million, and I've got it over in Bangsar. Wow, this is the place that I really do. But actually, when you talk about everything is up for sale at the right price, you say, would you sell your house or not? Now I'm thinking, no lah, because this house really is something which I work so hard to buy, right? Would I sell this house?
Yeah.
I would think,
no,
I wouldn't sell this house, right? Actually, if somebody's going to offer me 4 million, you think I won't sell the house?
Yeah, you think twice again, right? Yeah, you think.
Yeah lah. And that is the point. I think a lot of times that we think that, no, actually not. But I think we are in an era of technology that, because of the ability of a technology for us to do a lot more things that we never thought possible. This has allowed this whole ethos of everything is up for sale at the right price, because now we can actually connect. Like I said, IR 4.0, the world is so much more connected. Correct or not? And people who are not just in your own area only, but people who are maybe around across over the other globe, and say that, I want to buy this place, I want to move to Malaysia, Far East, all the way from UK or from US, and I can also do an investment, and that's what is a globalized market. And this is where it's so interesting, because it allows this to happen right now. And for me, it's like, this is actually not a fantastic, not rocket science, but nobody has done it yet. So that's why it makes us unique, because Proppy is here to capture this and do it now, isn't it? So let me show you how we are doing this in the platform. So if you're asking like, you sure? No, what is it that you're doing that is going to be different? How are you doing it?
Yeah, okay, show us, Ivan, show us.
Well, I hope that it will be able to be something that is it will be able to show lah. Well, I think the important thing here is this: Proppy gives you choices. We give people choices. So if imagine that you are just a browser, right, or a potential buyer, or you're just browsing right now and you're going on to the mobile app, whatever, and you are afraid to share, because nowadays when you go on the internet, when they always ask you on the website cookies, actually cookies are trackers. You realize that or not? A lot of people are not aware of it. So actually, when you click yes, you're actually allowing that website to actually track you and the companies that are associated as well. But what we do is this: we give you choices. And in return for you sharing your data with us, you will earn points. Simple as that. All right. And I'll give you an example. So you register into Proppy. So which means that when you register Proppy, you are already giving one information, and then we increase the level. So every time when you actually input a particular data into our ecosystem, we will reward you. And this is what we call as incentive, and to incentivize behavior. you know. But if you do not want to, you don't have to input, right? I mean, it's your choice lah. You know, at the end, it's your choice. So you become the user. And user means you can browse, you can actually connect, or even if you want to actually Proppy beep. Proppy beep is our new chat functionality. We call it beep, beep, beep. Proppy beep. You can beep whether it's a merchant or whether it's an agent or whether it's a homeowner. This allows you to do that lah, you know. But at the same time, our AI functionality ProppyApp will also then prompt you and ask you whether or not, hey, do you have a home or not, you know. And then when you key in your property details. Now, it is important that when you key in your property details, you're also inputting a new layer of data. So when you key in your property details, say for example, you're now living over in Bangsa, and then of course, at every layer, the more you input, the more you will gain lah. And not just in terms of property points, but also in games in insights, isn't it? I think you did mention that as well, you know, in terms of being able to be given the information you want to know, right? Right,
exactly.
Isn't
it? Like the house, you have the value of your house, you know. So in order to do that, you have to input the details of your house in order for a system for the artificial intelligence to tell you.
But I guess, like I said, you will be incentivized, you know, in the sense that you okay. So when you incentivize with Proppy points, what does it really mean? It means that you can redeem Proppy points back into the system. In the future, whether you want to connect with Proppy pros like yourself, you're also a Proppy pro, or you want to connect with a merchant, or maybe convert it into, you know, potential future vouchers, or even have monetized value.
Just to exchange services.
Just to exchange for services, in which will be which it will be enlarged as we grow, right? So obviously this is something which I think a lot of other platforms now, they are there as well. But one thing we are going to be doing here is, because we give you value, one Proppy point is worth $1. So if you do this right now, if you register using my referral code, all right,
your referral code.
We do this right now, right? If you want to, you know, I will send you, say for example, a friend, I'll send you my referral code immediately, without doing anything. Just register only, register into the platform. You as the person who I will send the referral code to, you will earn 5 Proppy points. Okay. Now, I will also earn 5 Proppy points, and 5 times 4 is 20 ringgit. So it's free money, you know. It's free to register, free to download, free to register, and you get free money just by registering. So all you need to do is just to refer to somebody, and immediately you are already you can just accumulate 5 Proppy points by getting your friends to register. That's all that is required. But like I said, you know, we incentivize you. The more you the more you add into this information into the system, you will also get more Proppy points, and now you will be the owner. So now you will be known as owner in the system because you've already keyed in your property details, because I know where your house is. So what are the advantage? What are the advantage? Sean, you want to share with them?
Then the ProppyApp, the artificial intelligence, will keep prompting the owner of the house and ask them if they have a mortgage, and ask if they would like to do an analysis, a health check on their mortgage. Now, you see, mortgage normally is a long-term commitment in life. It takes easily 15 years to 30 years, even sometimes 35, 40 years now, you know, in terms of loan. Now, but many times people may not realize if they pay their mortgage repayment correctly. So this analysis, this health check is very important to find out if the mortgage is healthy or not. If it's healthy, all good. Now, if it's not healthy, then it will prompt the user to really, you know, sort it out with their bankers immediately, because it can be a snowball that create more problem in the later part. Now, if their mortgage is healthy, then the user can also be prompt to subscribe a mortgage optimization program. Now, this is a program where it can help the user to reduce the interest payment and shorten the repayment tenure as well. Now, nowadays, especially during the pandemic, everybody's wallet is very tightened. And if there's a choice and options for us to save the interest, to cut short the repayment, everybody will consider. So this is a door opener where when the user has signed up the mortgage optimization plan, then they become a master. And of course, the artificial intelligence will prompt them to pay according to the schedule on time. And at the same time, achieve a long-term benefit where they can cut down a lot of mortgage interest. Now, just take an example. If a person takes 1 million of mortgage payment, a tenure for 30 years. Now, after 30 years, likely the interest actually come very close to 1 million. So meaning they paid double what they borrow. Now, then the system, the ProppyApp, the artificial intelligence on Proppy will offer 3 types of options. And one common option is to save 50%. If just imagine we can save 50%, which is equivalent to 500,000 of interest, and cut short the repayment tenure to half from 30 years to 15 years. It's really like using a sickle to cut down a tree. By optimizing.
Sean, why is it that people don't use this? It's funny, right?
Yeah, but a lot of people do not know. Now, in the past, this is not new actually in the market.
Yeah,
in the past, it was very costly, but nowadays it's so affordable on this platform. Everybody basically can do it and can subscribe, and not just that, they will get Proppy point. And in fact, for long run, it is virtually like free. So this is a door opener. For all the users to enter their mortgage information, enter their property information there. In exchanging also, when they want their property value, they can get from the system.
I've spoken to a couple of people from the corporate as well in terms of this, and a lot of people are actually quite surprised with MOP. It's almost like nobody knew it existed. There is, but sometimes we receive calls. Actually, I also receive calls for it. Used to be known as mortgage reduction strategy. Sometimes we use this call, and sometimes we get this call and we say, "I'm not interested. I'm not interested." Actually, they are trying to help them out. Actually, this system was brought in by our CC, our chief coordinator, our chief coach, Mr. Lee Wilson. I think in 1999. All right, and it's actually the system is actually since 1999, and actually it has been around. But I think back in those days, because of the technology and of course we have not really reached the full potential of IR 4.0. You will find that people were still very analog lah. Still there was still no digitization, isn't it? It's still very menial. We do workshops, road shows, getting people coming, invite. You listen to this and then you pay a lump sum, which is quite a fair bit. But even then also, it was actually a good savings, right?
Yes. It helps you to save.
But now, with this that we have, with the advent of technology and the ease of just referring and even subscribing on your app, how much is it to subscribe? I have to laugh because when I hear this, I'm still scratching my head. I was like, with disbelief. Are you kidding me? It's so. I don't know why it's so cheap.
It can be subscribed on monthly basis. It is just a mere 1% of the repayment
1%.
Amount. Yeah.
It's only 1% for your amount, man.
So say if you pay 1,000 every month, so it's just 10 ringgit a month. And you can, subscribe anytime and unsubscribe anytime you like.
It's almost in complete this. I have been saying this. I have been doing this. And yet, every time when I say it, I will be gawking. It's almost in disbelief. Why? Why is it so cheap? How can it be so cheap? And actually, I do have an answer, and I don't want to say it like as if it's like, you guys are trying to. No, the whole idea is this: technology.
And there's a huge market behind it.
Yes, there's a huge market. The technology that we are at, and also what we're doing is that, actually, a lot of it is redistributed back to the market. A lot of it is redistributed back to the users. It's it's a matter of. I'm not sure whether if I use this word right. It's a matter of greed, isn't it? Whether or not you want to sao ka liao, you want to just take everything, or whether you're willing to hand it
You
back
share
and
share
you
share with the
share it.
user. Yeah.
And this is actually talking also on the ethos of our company in Proppy. The fact is that one of it is that we want to distribute wealth. The idea here is that, you know, it's only 1% from how much you are paying on a monthly basis. So if you're paying back to the bank 1,000, like you said, you're only subscribing for 10 ringgit. So can you imagine, you're only subscribing 10 ringgit for 1 year. It's only how much? 120 ringgit. 10 ringgit 1 month is less than Starbucks coffee. I pay 14 ringgit for Starbucks. My coffee that I go to Superfine in Cafe in 17 Mall is $14.50. And yet, I cannot understand the rationale. I still cannot understand, although I know because psychologically, sometimes people will be like, it's too good to be true, or it's a little bit too hard. But actually, it's not. You know, it's actually a fantastic opportunity. And if you're looking at it in this context of macro level of the country, you will find that our country, there is an outstanding home loan. That means people owe money to the bank worth, and this is in 2019. That means 2 years ago. All right. And because this was the numbers that we got from Bank Negara, 573 billion ringgit. Okay. Which means there are 500, there is it's a huge potential for us to reach out to people who are still not not aware that you can lower down your mortgage repayment. And this is something which I think allows us to also move into MOP, and why we believe MOP is a fantastic module. And through this Proppy ambassador that we have also inbuilt into this platform, and this is because of the current technology that we have. We are now in this era that is easy for you to just refer. We are doing our virtual sessions here right now. You know, we've got friends that's calling in from Beijing, from Perth, from all over the world, and you don't have to be situated in a particular physical office, and you can do all of that. And this Proppy ambassador is a profit share model that we want to encourage people to become ambassadors. And what does ambassadors mean? Meaning you are a person who will be able to push out this module. And can you imagine when you push it out to people who you feel will benefit from saving in their mortgage repayment? You know, you are saving from the finance charges that you are paying to the bank. This will help other users as well. So if you look at this, just one layer here in itself, this is already going to revolutionize a completely new platform that will help a lot of users. And this is why I call this the distribution network. Our distribution network is not just organically grown, but it will blow, it will grow faster exponentially, because one pass to 2, 2 pass to 4, 4 pass to 8, 8 pass to 6, and it's going to grow more and more and more and more. And of course, if you want to know more about our Proppy ambassador, we don't have time to really go into in-depth. We do have our MOP training sessions, which we will also let you guys know in the future. Keep subscribe to our Facebook so that we will also update in terms of what are some of the things that we're going to be doing, not just our English pitch or even our Mandarin pitch, right or not? But of course, it's not just MOP, isn't it?
Yes, not just MOP. MOP is just a door opener. There are much more behind it. Now, there is a marketplace where all the transaction can happen on this platform, and the user, the homeowner, have an option to to do self-service or to look for agents that are qualified, in terms of, those are properly verified and endorsed property agents. So, like I shared just now, when we look for property agents, you can look for them with their credential, with their track record, with their experience. And through these 3 dots and the sign is called ProppyApp, where it is a secure trust net for communication. just like, communication on Facebook Messenger, you can talk to each other without knowing each other's contact until when you come to a level where you feel comfortable, you can exchange contacts and move on. So those are the things, some of the things that we can do. Now, apart from that, there are also other modules of the platform on Proppy, where such as, dream home wish list, where there is positive and negative filter. Now, positive filters are all those few features of the dream home that we would like to have, and negative is those features that we do not like, such as, far away from highway, far away from a university because, it's just crowded student there, so things like that you can put in the dream home wish list, and the artificial intelligence behind will do matching for user 24/7. And once a match has been found, then the relevant property, the user, and also the related property agent would be notified on the deals bulletin board. Yeah. Apart from that, agents also have another functions that the users can leverage on their other part of the services, apart from listing, where user can list themselves or go through an agent. And the user also can opt to get a guide, meaning to look for an agent if they opt for their self-service on listing, and they can find an agent to help them to bring tenant, potential buyers to view the house. So all those features are available there.
Yeah, but I think one of the advantage that this would allow also, because we're moving to the new era. We have been talking about IR 4.0, IR 4.0. And also, I think it's also looking into the behaviors of consumers, the users will be very different. I think we're going to move into an era where people are more self-authorized, self-directed. They want to have more control. Like I said, choices. So right now, the choice here is that if I want to list on my own, I can list. I can list to sell. I don't need to go through an agent if I don't want to. And if I want to buy, I want to also connect straight to the homeowner. So what it does here is that we also have a simple feature here, which we call make an offer. And in order to activate the make an offer, of course, you've got to make an offer lah, where you stake your Proppy points to show that you have an interest, just like anything else. If you want people to and this make an offer is actually initiated by the seller. So if the seller say I'm a homeowner and I want to sell this house, and I say, okay, I only want dedicated, committed buyer, so I will put this make an offer feature there. And of course, you got to stake your either it's through cash or Proppy points. Eventually, this is those nitty-gritty details, but you got to activate it. So once it's activated, then it shows to me as a seller that someone is interested. And of course there has to be value, because if there's no value, then it's like anyone also can actually just simply make an offer. Then it devalues this make an offer functionality. But what it means is that you will be assured that you're dealing straight with the homeowner. So in this context, you would also have that flexibility to do this on your own without needing the agent. Now, when we share this, I like this because I tend to be more self-directed. I like to have more autonomy to do things. That, I mean, why would I need to pay? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm so sorry if I want to talk to, if I say this, I know a lot of property agents will be very, very pissed with me. It's like, why would you want to pay a property agent or someone else to actually pay 10,000 ringgit to post a Facebook post for you? No, you can just do it on your own, whether it's on YouTube. And nowadays, a lot of people are content providers. They create content online. They are YouTubers. They can do whatever you need. So I think sometimes you will think, this platform allows me that flexibility, right? So again, it's choices. So I can actually put it up there. So which means that where do they come in? Now, of course, again, we talk about choices, right? So for those who do not want to post on their own, who probably require help through an agent, this is where we can say, get a guide lah.
Yes,
or
exactly.
we can actually put it on a news bulletin board so that the agents will be able to grab lah. And that's why we can see it's a grab. They can grab this job, and it's important also for us to make sure that these agents who come onto our platform are properly verified and they are
Yes.
endorsed, so that the
Yeah.
credibility increases. And this is what we want. We want to create a credible trust net, so that even
Yeah.
if I connect with the agents from the Proppy platform, I am assured that these are the guys that are credible. These are the guys that I can trust, because I think a lot of hanky panky is happening also in, well, some other platforms, we will not mention.
But it is a fair, environment for
Yeah,
all the stakeholder or the users. Even
yeah,
the property agent, they are users. So for
yeah.
all the users, it is a fair environment because it shows their proof of work. It shows
Mm,
their background, and user, like a seller or buyer, they really want this information which are not easily available on the
mm,
internet or elsewhere. So this platform will gather all those and dedicated to all the users for them to make informed decision.
mm.
Now, believe, whether we like it or not, the next generation or upcoming generation, they are all very self-initiated. They are all, they would like to do things
Yeah,
on
very
their own.
savvy as well, very IT
Yes,
savvy.
exactly. They are very empowered to do things on
Yeah,
their
on
own.
their own.
Just
That's
like
right.
TikTok, content creator. Now even
Exactly.
even videos. We can make
Yeah,
videos. Our own. We don't need a
yeah.
director. To make videos. But this is going to be the trend, and we are
Exactly.
creating the environment
Yeah,
for the current generation and the upcoming generation.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, this is why it is important for us to actually have a very credible endorsement strategy. All right,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
for us, we are also changing the game
Yeah.
by putting endorsement weightage. Meaning, if
Yes.
you are verified and if you are a verified user, and if you have also proven that you do
Mm.
not play around with the rating
Yeah.
system, so
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
action that you do that contributes, and this is like proof of work, lah, right? Not
Yes. Yeah.
you do good things, you will rewarded with good endorsement, and then
Yes.
it
Yeah.
increases your weightage. So now
Yeah.
you become a class A endorser. So when you endorse someone else, oh, it's like, oh, you are the class A
Yeah.
endorse agent, and that is how
Mm.
we want to enhance this layer of credible trustnet. And I think
Yeah.
this will be a game changer in the market. Shh, don't tell to anybody. Only you guys know.
But as I said, Ivan, it is fair because those who work hard, who work
Yeah,
seriously, who work with highest professionalism,
yeah,
they get to stay on top of the list for people
yeah.
to choose first. So
Exactly.
and I prefer to look for those people who are serious in the business, who are
So
professional in the business.
exactly, and of
Mm.
course, this kind of platforms, this digitalization, this transformation. I know a lot of jobs. A lot of people are also afraid because they, oh, you're safe, all this is going to make my job obsolete, right? Or not. But actually,
Yeah.
this is how we are also trying to safeguard this layer of jobs or
Mm.
professionalism, and because there is still a place for them, isn't it? There is
Yeah.
still a
Yeah.
place for service providers, to
Yes.
provide extra service. So, which means that the more you are given this higher ratage in endorsement, the more you prove that you can do the work, the more you become worth the
Yeah.
value. That means people will want you to take up their job for them. So actually, this is an opportunity, a call out to agents. If you want to be rated really high, then you do the work.
Yeah.
You show that you are the one who's going to be helpful. You do extra work. And a lot of times right now, we do extra work is not actually recognized, right?
Yes.
Especially
Yeah.
insurance agents. I
Yeah.
know you guys do a lot of things. I know. Right now, you can,
Yeah.
even though you're only selling insurance, I remember, some other people would say, okay, I will even go and pay your bills for you. I will do
They
everything for
bring
you.
they bring you
Right.
some fruits,
You bring us some fruits and
yeah,
all that kind of thing. You know
yeah,
what? That kind of activities, even though it may not necessarily be related to your work, but it enhances your endorsement, because I will give you endorsement. Oh, this guy is really good, very trustworthy,
yeah,
very
yeah.
helpful. I will endorse you at a very high rating. And that is where I think in the future, this kind of credit ratings will definitely be something which will be
And
valued.
and and not just that, to user, it's
Mm,
it's a complete different kind of experience.
Yeah.
instead of just a simple transaction, and normally a property agent come and then transact and go, and that's it, but to user, that their experience is so enhanced because they have all the information for them to make decision themselves that is most appropriate to them.
Hey, I'm actually enjoying my conversation with you, but I'm looking at the time. It's 10 o'clock already away. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's going to be up to 11 o'clock. Okay. So actually, the thing is that even if you listen to us right now, even at this stage, you will find that if I were to bring you back to the old platform, walao.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds. I know. I mean, okay, this is why we call this is a special invited session only, right? So which means that we are having conversations with friends and friends' friends, But eventually we will also be opening up this to the public. But first and foremost, why we are only inviting you guys, because at the end of the day, you guys, I mean, this is like a special. It's like a special showcase, to all of you that we are already at, like level 10, but these guys are still at level 1, maybe at best level 2, trying to reach PropTech 2.0. But if you actually look back at what they are providing, actually, this is really archaic now, when I'm looking at it. Now you understand what I'm trying to say? So primitive, so archaic. They are just digitization. They're just digitizing the yellow page and putting it onto the internet.
There's still a lot of
innovation
room to grow. There's still a lot of room to grow.
Well, you're very kind. You're very politically correct, Sean.
But it's just like, once we know about the features of WhatsApp, that you can send photo, you can send files, you can send voice. You don't want to revert back to SMS era anymore. It's the same as handphone. Once I use the iPhone, I don't want the Nokia. And
I mean, some people want the dumb phone lah. Some people are still some people are still using it. Okay,
No, without knowing that is an option of iPhone. Yes, you have no choice but to start with that. But once you know there is a better option, everybody will opt for a better one.
Exactly. And I think this is something which we also need to allude to, that we are actually on the verge of a real revolution. You are no longer talking about evolution or this process. And I'll give you an example of AirAsia as well as Virgin Airlines. Virgin Airlines took years to build this low-cost airlines industry, right?
No frill airline.
There's the no frills and everything else. Can you remember? Do you remember your first time taking AirAsia? I'm not sure whether you remember or when it was. I remember the first time taking AirAsia, right? And when we took AirAsia, I tell you there were so many complaints, and I said, "What is this, man? There is no seats, lah." And then I remember people rushing to go and grab the seats, right? And then a lot of people were complaining, but it's like, look, no frills, ma. It's everyone can fly cheap. But actually, they rode on Virgin Airlines evolutionary process, but AirAsia took it and flew with it. AirAsia has literally revolutionized also the low frills, and they have been number one world no frills and low cost airline for many years. I think like 13, 14 years in a row, that kind of thing. But this is where I believe PropTech is also on that verge. There's no one else that is actually revolutionizing it. Not yet lah. But I think Proppy is poised to really take this like AirAsia, what Virgin Airlines did, and then AirAsia take it through. I feel this is our moment. That's why it's called Ini Kali lah.
Yes, the turning point has come.
That is why this is our moment, and because property tech is the lowest hanging fruit for AI, for IR 4.0, for all of this to really game change this. And you know what? It's not just on property only that we're going to be talking about. But let's save that for another day. Let's talk about how this actually, And you can see these are the players out there. And these players are now only at PropTech 1.0. Okay, I give them 2.0 lah. Zillow maybe lah. Zillow is the biggest in the US. Their market cap is 34 billion USD, China Baker is 77 billion. And the reason I would believe is not because of its revolutionary tech. It's just because it's China.
Right. A lot of users.
Yeah, it's a lot of users. But if you actually look at it, they are already fetching this kind of value.
Yeah.
So with the additional technology that we're going to be plugging in, with the kind of potential that we have, I am really convinced that we have something here that is
We,
really,
we
really amazing.
we can leave it to the audience for their imagination.
Okay. I will
Yeah.
tone down my passion a little bit. I will tone it down a little bit. Even though it seems like as if like, I'm like selling snake oil. I'm not. I'm not. If you really understand this and you can see the potential, you understand why I'm so excited, right?
I can see that.
And I'm even more excited because it doesn't end here, man.
Yes, exactly. Apart from the marketplace, it also extended to offering all the peripheral services and offering around the properties. Now we such as anything that you can think of and related to properties. I think Ryoco can share with us in this sense on how she experienced it. What she's expecting. And to see and to benefit from the platform.
Ryoco has been waiting for 1 hour, lah.
Yeah.
No lah, I'm not waiting. It's fun, you don't.
Ryoco, I hope that you have been waiting patiently enough.
No, I'm not waiting. I'm actually in the conversation, but I just didn't turn on my mic, so you didn't hear the laughter and the moment.
Yeah. So Ryoco, you can tell us, as a single mom with 2 kids, what kind of challenges when you face, in terms of all those services that I mentioned to you earlier.
I think a lot of times when the thing breaks down at home, you don't know. I mean, it's everywhere. You can find in Muda.com, Cow Team and all that, but it is everywhere. But it is confusing for me because I don't know who to call, what to call, and what time to call, and who is good and who is not good. Because there's no ratings, there's no reviews, and sometimes when I call up the contact, there's nobody picked up. Even if you call the second day, nobody picked up. Or they will promise you, okay, thi nhật ngon lại á. But then when you stay at home, right, you cut off your job. Hey, 9 o'clock, where are you? 15 minutes. And then the second time call up, it's raining here, traffic jam. I'm not going to come already. Tomorrow I'm going to come again. Huh? But then in ProppyApp, what I see is I feel safe. I feel very safe and also feel I do have the securities and trustworthy in this ProppyApp because the person that I'm gonna meet, that I'm gonna open the door, invite them or invite him to come, that I actually know him. Like I know his face, I know what he's gonna do and what is his background, and it's all by endorsement, by review, and by rating. And it's much easier for me to schedule my time. With 2 kids, it's really hard, for them to be at home, to be out, with the noise, with the machine that they're doing. Is it dangerous to my kid? But with the precise schedule or the person who have very good review, then I can trust the person, arrange the kid to be out of the house, to get allergy from the painting of the house. I think it saved a lot of time, it saved a lot of headache for me. And then also it's very accessible because you click, you can find out, whether you want to sell your puppies, you want to rent a house, you want to get a job, or you want to buy a cake or whatever, your air cons, your curtains, whether you want to get repairs or laundry. It's there, it's right there, and then it connects everything. To me, I think that is a very powerful connection because it connects you from here. It's like a web. It's from A to Z. So if you have a problems from A to Z, the solution is there, A to Z. You just need to go up and touch or slide what kind of service do you want. Because of that, I do get a lot of choices and be informed. Who can I choose? And also I have a lot of backups. And another thing that I see is transparency. This is the thing that I really like most because it is there the endorsement. People. It's not by who we give the review. It's by all the people that the user already been experience the services from there. Then they give review, so it's very genuine to me. Something that I will be very happy, enjoying, to use this kind of service instead of like me. I've been staying in San Francisco for 16 years. It's very famous to have, you go and look for things in Craigslist.
Yeah.
Yes, they do have
Yeah.
it, but it's very messy. You don't know where to look. And you spend a lot of time instead of looking for the maintenance guy, the handy guy, and then end up, wow, you don't know where to go anymore.
No, actually, the thing is, even among the community WhatsApp groups, I have got a Section 17 community WhatsApp group. Sometimes they will just to us, hey, do you know anyone who is the handyman who can fix the plumbing? Or even they will post on the Section 17 Facebook community group. Does anybody know another electrician or whatsoever? Actually, there is of course a lot of all this, but like you say that you're right, it's like they are just everywhere, or even going to the 7-Eleven and then look for those numbers over there. I think they are all there. We're not saying that it's not there. I think the problem here is they are everywhere, right? And I think it's interesting because when you put all of it into one, then it really makes Proppy a place where you can just solve all your problems, whether it's buying a house or filling the house or even servicing the house or fixing the house or even paying for the house is all done in ProppyApp. What more do you want? This one is like
And
replace.
also, it
Yeah.
involves everyone.
Yeah.
You can get service provider, you can get product provider, even retail provider. Everything is there.
So being a single mom, you actually don't need a man in your life. You just need Proppy.
Go mingle, can I have coffee with you, ma?
Yeah.
But you see, sometimes when people come into this type of selection, there are a few typical criteria, such as the vicinity, like if the service provider is close to them in terms of arranging the time. And service level is definitely one, whether they're skillful, experienced or not, but it always comes with a cost, So, and then another criteria, a very common one is how much they charge. You can find a very good technician, but they can charge you a bomb. So it is all information that is going to be available and transparent to the user for user to make decision themselves based on this information, where in the past, all this information is scattered around or possibly even hard to come together. You can't gather all the technicians, their price, their service, their location on the internet. Not that simple. Now, ProppyApp is gathering all these, package it nicely, and present it to the user. And user, when they make decision, they can choose what they want, in terms of pricing range, in terms of experience, in terms of service level, in terms of location wise, so this makes selection of the service provider or merchants much more easier. It makes our life easier.
One word, Sean, one word, specialize. We can identify the location, real time, provide geography, specific content, everything's there. And then also the value of work. When, for whoever providing the service, value for work, proof of work, and it's all documented. So they also feel proud. Even the user or the merchant, they feel proud because it's good review and it's authentic review.
Yeah, but in fact, if we talk about it, all the service provider or merchant on this platform, in the past, it's all based on their word of mouth. Word of mouth is taxi. It's not documented. It's not recorded. But on this platform, it's all recorded. It creates intangible asset, and a branding for this kind of service provider. So it's the same, just like the property agent, those who are those who are professional, who are serious, who really do a good job, they also get better score, and they are always stay on top of the list.
Well, at the rate that we are going, right, it's like it's never gonna end, man. This whole session is like there's so much more to say and so much more to talk about. We haven't even spoken about Proppy Ping, Proppy Pro, Proppy Academy, Proppy Embassy, and so much more. Now, we don't want to overwhelm our audience with all of these features, but I think in a nutshell, just to cover it up, the reason why we're sharing this and giving you a little bit of insight into some of our major modules and peripheral features is that we have thought of all of it, especially when it comes to the services that's relatable to properties. And there is of course the brains behind the whole system coming up with the infrastructure. It's not easy. It sounds very simple, but actually simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. To make it simple, it is really, really hard. So if you are thinking, this one, everything also same, yes and no, right? Same, but different. Same. And that's actually also our ethos. We got three very important philosophy in terms of our growth philosophy. Our first one is that what you see here, in fact, what you see in the market, what they have, we will also have. So if you say that, hey, the market got listing, we also got listing. The market also got mortgage optimization. Mortgage reduction also we have. Oh, the market also got it. Yes, But the second most important aspect is what we have, we will make it better. So which means that we want to make sure that we will be able to provide better service. We will be able to provide better customer service. We have better endorsement service. We have better credit rating. We have better, in terms of making sure that our platform is much more credible. And of course, the third one is that we will make sure that what we have, other people don't have. And this is where it is going to change the entire game with our AI functionality that plugs in IR 4.0 plus. Now this, you heard it here first. IR 4.0 plus meaning we are now, it's smart applications. If you have something that is revolutionary, you have a fantastic technology, but it doesn't have its smart application, it's not applied in a smart way, it's just a waste use of space, a wasted use of technology. And this is the money. This is where the money is. How do we put all of this technology, put them together so that it's presented to you in a simplified form? And then you revolutionize this whole property technology. And this is why it is important for you to understand that it connects to everybody, how everyone is a stakeholder, isn't it? It involves everybody in this whole distribution layer.
Exactly, yeah. And everybody benefit from this platform, be it merchant, property developer, property agent, house owner, anybody who like to rent a place, professional service provider, merchant, and of course, investor. This is the best time to come in, especially at the early stage of the company business.
Actually, ultimately, what Proppy adds value is beyond just the mono layer, right? Engagement. I think it's beyond a shadow of doubt. And as we zoom out to the bigger picture, you will be able to see the power of property. The power of Proppy. I mean, in predicting market trends, because you are now able to understand insights. Now, AI insights is exactly where what we are helping you to do, being an informed buyer and seller. In order to be informed, you need to have information that is of value. How are you obtaining updated information about pricing? How do you make a better budget planning? What kind of constraints that you may have? How do you reduce those kind of constraints? That's why you have MOP. How do you transform the way you buy? How do you transform the way you actually list? How do you transform the way you actually also agent come in and connect with homeowners and also buyers? And Proppy actually is not just a business model, and it's not also a platform or a portal. Now we keep saying, oh, it's a portal, it's an infrastructure. No, Proppy is a movement. Now, I'm going to say here, it's a movement because we are now riding on the whole AI platform, AI, wave in educating users to become better informed buyer and seller. So if you actually understand that as the underlying factor, you can see that actually we are now challenging even the likes of Google, even the likes of these platforms that is, but we are actually already starting with distribution network, with our core network, with our core layer, with our extended layer. All of that actually it involves everyone within the entire macro system. So the next question that we got to ask,
who is doing this?
Yeah. What are you missing out? Or are you going to be missing out? Now, sometimes when we ask these kind of questions, I know people who are listening for the first time is like, we don't like to be pressured. We don't like to be pressured. What are you missing out? Fear of missing out. I don't. Actually, there is. It's not that fear of missing out. It's that you literally miss out because sometimes we just can't read the trend and sometimes we miss the trend. So I actually have 3 questions that you can, to really leave you with these 3 questions. Now, I think the first thing that we got to ask ourselves, are we happy with the current platform? So if we take that comparison, whether it's Zillow, whether it's Baker, whether it's iProperty, or whether it's Property Group, are you happy with the current, knowing that we are in RR 4.0, knowing that there's a lot of technology that is out there right now that we can capture and we can utilize, but it's not being practiced, it's not being put into PropTech 1.0. Are you happy with the current platform? Ask that question. Answer it yourself. Don't have to give me an answer. But I know the answer is very, very obvious. All right?
Yeah.
If you're not happy, then the next question that you should ask is, do you think we have the solutions that will be able to fill the gap? I don't know, maybe. I cannot say, I do not know what you're thinking. I'm convinced that it is. We may not be perfect, right? We are always still developing. And I think this is the challenge that we will throw out, not just to Proppy and Proppians, but also to the market. At the end of the day, we are always trying to strive to become better, right? So which means that our solutions, if I say, oh, no, we have the best solutions, that would be the biggest lie as well. Although I believe that we do. But the fact is that I would say that our solutions is much better and already trumping the current platform. Agree or not?
Yeah.
The way in which we are actually doing our business model alone, not even the entire infrastructure, is enough on its own to already trump the current platform. So what are you talking about? I think the third question is going to be very crucial. Can we do what we say we're going to do? And this goes down to the team. And I think we'll end with the team, isn't it?
Yes,
and,
right.
Why don't you share a little bit about the team?
From the bottom left, we have Will Fang, our co-founder,
who's also here.
And he is overseeing our legal and corporate governance issues. And he's currently serving as a senior foreign counsel with Randall Law Firm in Beijing.
And he's cannot go back to Beijing.
And he's also the present chairman of the Malaysian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in China.
I have to apologize to him. I know that he's looking forward to go back to Beijing. I'm so sad that he can't go back to Beijing, but at the same time, I'm so quite happy that he's stuck here in Malaysia.
Well, I hope everything goes well. So
I hope so too. Yeah. And I think the next person is also a fantastic man, Dato Sri Wilaman. I've met him in person and he's such a brilliant man. This guy has been involved in so many, not just as a VC, but he is also an expert in media, in PR, in corporate strategy. He is brilliant. His mind works, so fast. And whenever, even when I was presenting some of my ideas, he will break it down and he will open it up and then you put it back in. It's like, it's amazing. And we are really glad to have somebody of his caliber be part of our co-founder as well as our exco team. So this is already in itself a testament of the talent, not just within the co-founder team. I'm also talking about the management team. I'm also talking about the Proppians that we have in the house as well. And
of course we have Evan and myself as co-founder. And I'll move on to the founder, who is my ex-colleague, Dr. Max. And I work with him in a lot of these automations project, transportation automation projects. And I knew him for close to 10 years. And throughout my experience working with him, he is a person who can make complicated or sophisticated situation, problem simple. And he can derive a solution for it in a very short time. So he has over 27 years of software development experience. So with him on board, it is a very credible member who can ensure what we said we can deliver accordingly. Yeah.
And of course, I would like to introduce to you our founder, who is also the chief infrastructure architect, technology architect behind the entire ecosystem, Mr. Lee Wilson. I've known him for many years lah. He's my classmate lah, and it's actually sometimes also a bit envious, a little bit jealous, because it's like you know him from young. At the same time, you'd be like, God, such thing, meh? Are you sure or not? I know him ever since I was young, lah, way, but I can only sum it up in 2 words, I think 2 words. He is a reluctant genius. All right. And I will say this with absolute confidence because of the way in which his mind works, and of course, the way in which how he sees the future. And I've also been personally involved with some of his projects, which I will share with you in a while. And the technology of the future and how it is also revolutionizing a lot of other industries as well. And we are really he doesn't like to be called CEO, but I will call him a CEO because he is guiding us, he is leading us, but he prefers to be known as the chief coach, the chief coordinator, because he coordinates and he actually he does this very well. He actually pulls the people together, and he actually helps people open the potential, which is something which is also what I actually do as part of my corporate consultancy. But what I really appreciate is that we actually work very well together because we blend. We are quite different in many ways, but I think and this is also a testament to the entire team. A lot of us are very different in many ways, but we actually fit quite well. In fact, we don't even know each other that well, except that we have started working only what 6 months ago, Ben. We started only in October. But I think this is why it is so important, because you need to have a team that it's like all of us are horses, and Wilson is up there on the carriage, and he's holding all our reins, and he's holding it with one hand. He's holding with one hand, and the other hand is holding the other people from the outside at the same time.
And we all run in the same direction,
Exactly. And I think this is a very important thing, the way in which he actually started off, which I agree with, in order for us to sell a team, you got to, in order to build a team, you got to sell a dream. And that dream is that we are all doing this together. It's not about him, it's not about Dr. Max, it's not about you and I, it's everyone's effort. And of course, we end with our chairman, Tunku Nakiuddin, and he is a well-known corporate figure. Actually, Anta was my ex-client last time when I was with my previous company. Anta, we do Anta Schindler. Anta Schindler was actually my client, and I know the Anta group very well. And I was actually, first and foremost, when I heard that he is the chairman, I was like, wow, it's like. But I do not want to glorify, because sometimes when you think that when we use sometimes when we have a royalty in our list, sometimes people say he's just a name, he's just a figurehead. I'm telling you, no, he actually works. He is
very
hands
down to
on.
earth.
He's hands on.
Very down to earth person.
And when we were doing a corporate video, I was preparing his script and everything else. I was impressed and mesmerized by the fact that he wrote his own script, he wrote his own portfolio, he wrote his own introduction. I am flawed. I was flawed, and I was like, okay, this is the man who really gets down and dirty, and comes down into the trenches and work together with the rest of the soldiers. So I'm
Ivan, I think the audience deserve to know a bit more. And basically, Tunku is a prominent businessman in Malaysia with royal ties in Seremban. He's also a founding chairman of the Public Listed Company Association of Malaysia. So he has personally invested in many companies with forward-thinking, concept, just like our companies. Is one of his favorite. And he's also the current executive chairman of the Anta Health Group.
We got 1 minute. We got 1 minute to share about this.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know whether we're going to be able to do this 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
The things that we're very ambitious. And I would like to stake this claim that we are not a bunch of millennials who is trying to create a startup. We have I think among the co-founders team in itself, if you combine all the years of experience, I think it's like 500 more than 300 years of experience in working in corporate. And we have had also varying degrees of successes in all the things that we have done as well. But I want to allude here, especially with these brands. These you may not be familiar with. I am very familiar with some of these brands, but these brands that are here, these are all future tech, Blockchain Zoo, Newton, Smart Mesh, AIOZ, Pundi X, Elastos, Terra Virtua, all of these companies that are invested by and also not just advised. Mr. Lee Wilson himself is hands-on with some of the projects that are revolutionizing in their industries. I do not want to overspend the time to talk about each one of these industries, but I can tell you I've met the people behind these are brilliant minds. Some of them are ex-military hackers. Some of them used to work with Microsoft. Some of them, seriously. And they have already started projects and they are developing. And you know what? We have direct access to these talents. So if you're asking, where are your guys? Where are your tech guys? Now they are here. These are the guys, and these are the guys that we have direct access. We have network connection, and they help us on a lot of levels as well.
And of course at the bottom you can see all those much more familiar brands like Plus, Rapid KL, Lembaga Laboraya, Malaysia, Malakoff, Malaysia Airport, Unilever. All those are also the software, come with software delivered by Dr. Max himself. And a few of them. You were
involved, right?
Yes, I was involved in some of the especially the highway project, all the transportation related projects.
So whether it worked or didn't work, because it's your fault, lah.
Well, it's all well delivered.
It was all well delivered, and that is something we want to hear as well. At the same time, this is also where we are also having our tech team developing all our product as well. All right. So I think it leaves us to the next question: what now, and where do you want to be? So I'm going to leave this over to our sales director, Sean, to actually close for tonight.
Yeah. Well, now we have shared about what Proppy is all about, and of course, eventually, everybody can be a stakeholder. You can be one of them, be it user, or get involved at early stage like the beginning stage at this time. So where do you want to be is entirely your call. So I believe all of the audience here are invited guests. It is invited by one of the assisting ProppyApp, which is who are already involved. And believe it or not, Ryoco, Evan, and myself also has gone through this process. We were all audience before being part of the Proppy project. And if you would like to know more, then please arrange with the person who has invited you here to arrange further interview or meetup so that we can explain to you or answer any of your questions so that we can move on from here. So be it user, or and early involvement in this project, your
Sean, you are such a politically correct person. I can't imagine that you're such a kind person. I'm going to be even blunt. I'm going to be straightforward and blunt. If you don't mind, I'm going to go straightforward and blunt. Your friend would have invited you. This is a special invite only session. All right. And the reason why it's only a special invite only session is because it is not open to the public. I think, sometimes when we want to actually, and the question is, why don't we just invite the public lah? And the fact is that if you are now listening to us and you have a lot of questions and you are thinking, this one cannot work, or this one cannot work, or this one cannot work, I think it's only fair if this is the first time you're listening to this, come a couple of times, or better still, like what Sean has said, talk to your friend. Ask him who actually invited you, what is it? I'm sure you trust your friend, right? You've got to trust your friend. Fair? All right. You do not know who I am. You do not know who Sean is. You do not know who Ryoco is, except for you've been invited here and you're listening to all of us. You only know your friend, right? Now, it's fine. You know, we can say whatever we want to say. I can say that I'm this big time trainer, or Sean is the MDRT chairman. Okay, Sean is the MDRT chairman. He's not. You know, you got all these people who are saying, you don't trust us, it's fine, but you should be able to trust your friend. You can ask your friend, what is it that he sees in this project that he's convinced that this is going to blow. All right. And it's just like this. If you had the chance to listen to Grab, now Grab is the, okay lah, let's not overshine, but Grab, let's also give them where credit is due. Grab is now the big thing right now. Now everybody's saying 40 billion, you know, they're going to be putting it up there, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of issues with Grab, but we will not take it away from them. They have done fantastic. But if you have had the chance where Grab is 6 months into their inception, they were My Taxi, right? They were nobody, but they became Grab. And if you have had that chance at that stage, 6 months, to do the impossible, which is investing into Grab at that point of time, what would you have done? First and foremost, you might not even have the chance to even go there. But our friend Will Fang had, but he did not. He's like, never mind, it's okay.
Me too, my friend.
Okay, never. If he's your friend, right. Okay, so actually, the question here is this. Firstly, the question here is, if he is your friend, and he's invited you here, that means got something that he's actually seen. I do not know what he sees now, but if he sees something, you better ask him what he sees. But if you see something that you say, hey, I got something that is wrong, hey, your friend is inside, you don't ask him to get out, then you're not friend. I'm going to be very blunt, isn't it? So the question here is that all of us here would have seen something, and I'm very convinced that with what we are seeing also in terms of the plans, in terms of what we are doing, we are also going to be able to move the market. If not, we are not going to be here. If not, we are not doing this every week, Why we are doing this every week? Why? For fun, one. It's because the window of opportunity is closing already. No more chance already.
Yes.
So if you want to get on with this and wonder what is it that you guys are actually doing and what you're seeing, get on it fast. Sean was very politically correct. You can either be a user or invest during our IPO. Fine, if you want to invest in IPO. But you already here. Why would you want to wait for IPO? All right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's all I want to say.
And the window is become narrower now. And so the space is left not much.
Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for coming in.
Ini kali lah.
All right. Ini kali lah, guys. Good night, everybody. All right. Thank you so much.